Thanks for listening to English Go Podcast. If you'd like to listen without adverts, read episode transcripts, or listen to extra bonus episodes, please check the description for more details. So I've talked about this topic many times before on this podcast, and this topic is the topic of routine and how important routine is for studying. And recently, I've let my routine go. I've not been looking after my routine so much, and as a consequence, as a result of that, my studying has not been going as well as it could have been going lately. So I'll tell you why. I'll explain a little bit. As you probably know, if you listen to this podcast regularly, I got into the routine of going out a lot, going out to parks and studying. So there's a park that's by bike, I would say it's about 10 minutes away. And I used to wake up, go out quite early, take my laptop with me, go to this park and sit down under this like little shelter they have. So, you can work there if it's raining or if it's sunny, you don't have to get sunburn, and there are tables there, so it's quite a nice place to work outside. You've got a vending machine nearby, so you can buy drinks, and there are several toilets in the park, and then a little further away, maybe like 5-minute bike ride, there's a convenience store, so you can buy food as well. So yeah, it was sort of like, I used to treat it like an outdoor coffee shop, sort of. So I got into this habit of working there. Of studying there, not working. And then what happened? Well, it started getting a bit hot in Japan. And so I wasn't able to go so often. And then it started to get so hot, like yesterday, for example, was 37. And 37 is a little bit too hot to go bike riding, I think. It's also a little bit too hot to sit outside. And we've had lots of this kind of weather recently. So what's been happening is I haven't been going out, and I've been very naughty, and I haven't really been doing that much studying indoors either, because it was just like a change to my routine. My routine is I go out, bike ride. Whilst I'm bike riding, it's quiet roads, so I listen to a podcast, and I get there, and I get to the park, and then I start reading. What else would I do? Do some vocabulary reviews, and just because I couldn't go, I sort of stopped studying a bit. But that wasn't the only reason, if I'm honest. No, that wasn't the only reason. Unfortunately, I had the silly idea of buying the latest Legend of Zelda game, Tears of the Kingdom. If you're not into games, that won't mean anything to you. But for those people who are, I'm sure you know exactly what I mean. So that series of games, Legend of Zelda series, probably one of my favourite games. And I shouldn't have bought it. I don't know what I was thinking, because it's very fun to play and very addictive. And at first, I was just spending half an hour here and there, maybe an hour, and then at some point, I started to get a bit too addicted to it, and it started to get in the way of studying. So that didn't help. And then, I don't know why, but they did something even more stupid. There's a sale on, so there's this, I have to go to the beginning first and explain, just in case, I'm sure many people listening don't know, but there's a store, like an online game store called Steam, and they have sales. They have summer sales and winter sales and so on and so on. And I got this email, it's like, oh, there's a sale on. And I thought, I'll just have a look, see what's on there, see what games are on sale. And I ended up buying this game called Subnautica because it was really cheap. And I thought, I'll just give it a quick go, see if it's any good. And the idea is that you crash. You crash onto an alien planet that's just full of water, and you have to survive. So you have to, swim below the ocean, and you have to find food and materials to build things with, and ways to drink water and all that kind of stuff. It's a survival game. The trouble is, it's rather fun. It's a bit too fun, actually. And the combination of not being able to go outside and making games sort of part of my routine, because I kept playing them more and more often. And this game, this Subnautica game, did not help. I ended up ditching my old routine, losing my old routine, and getting a new routine. So I'd actually wake up in the morning. And normally I'd wake up in the morning and start studying. But this time I was waking up in the morning and playing a game. Now, one of the worst things you can do, I think, if you've got stuff to do, is to wake up in the morning and do something like playing a game or watching a TV program, or something like that. I think that's for me, it makes the whole day after that like a lazy day. I've already done something like that I think is really fun. So after that, everything else just seems like, do I really want to study? I don't know. Do I really want to do this? I've got not very much energy to do it after I've been doing something that I've found so fun, something that's so addictive as well. Yes, so that's been going on for a while. I don't know how long, actually. I think it might be 2 to 3 weeks. I think so, which is a long time, which is definitely not good. And so what I've been doing lately, I did try. I thought, okay, today I'm not going to play any games whatsoever. And to be honest, most of the time I don't play games. I've got equipment, like consoles to play games on, and they just sort of sit there most of the year, and I don't really touch them very much. I don't really use them very much. But sometimes I just find that one game, and it's hard to put down. It's hard to stop playing. And unfortunately, I found 2 of those just recently. So I tried to stop playing, and it didn't work. I thought I won't play at all today. For example, so I go to sleep and I think, oh, this is really bad. When I wake up tomorrow, I won't play at all. And so the next morning I'd wake up, and then I think, well, maybe just a little. That's okay, isn't it? Let's just play half an hour. And so I'd start the game. Half an hour would pass, and I think, well, half an hour is not very long, is it? We can, an hour is okay, isn't it? Just 1 hour is not going to be a problem. And from there on, it would just get worse and worse. So that wasn't working at all. So I thought, okay, maybe stopping playing games is, well, I could probably do it, If I was really, really serious about doing it, I'd just be like, okay, no, definitely not going to touch this anymore. But I thought, instead of that, can't I use this to my advantage? Can't I turn this around and make it a good thing instead? And to be honest, the only reason it's a bad thing, I think, is because I should be studying. I should be studying Japanese. The morning is my time for study. If I was just playing games in the evening, I wouldn't really care about it too much, because that's my free time. I don't study in the evenings really, just the mornings. So I thought, isn't there a way I can turn this around? I can make it an advantage instead of a bad thing. And there is. Of course there is. So I stopped playing that game, and I switched to a different game. I switched to a game that has a lot of text in, and a game that I'm playing in Japanese. Because I decided, if I am going to play a game, then at least I want to get something out of it. So if I'm playing it in Japanese, if I'm constantly reading Japanese all the time, that's not too dissimilar to reading a book. That's very similar to reading a book, isn't it? So as long as it's the right type of game, one with lots and lots of text, and you have to do lots and lots of reading, then I think, yes, it's maybe not the best way of studying, because I think if you really just wanted to practice reading, books have so much text in. Books have just text and nothing else, don't they? Whereas games are like a bit of text and a bit of doing something, and then a bit more text and a bit more doing something, depending on the game. But definitely, it can be a way of getting some exposure to your target language, the language you're studying, to English in your case. So yeah, I think it's problem solved, really. And already I've noticed I've started studying Japanese more just because I've started playing this game in Japanese, because it's just given me that extra reason to want to study again. You know, like I'm playing the game and then I read something and it's like, I'm not 100% sure what's being said there. Maybe I don't understand the word. Maybe the grammar's a little difficult for me. And so it gives me that sort of motivation, that push to want to spend more time studying Japanese. So, yeah, problem solved. And it was quite an easy thing to fix in the end. So I managed to turn that sort of negative addiction that was taking away all of my studying time into something that's actually helping me study. So there you go. You don't necessarily have to completely quit something that you're doing. Sometimes just change it a little, you know. Do something. If there's something you really enjoy doing, it's taking up a lot of your time, perhaps you can do it in English. Anyway, that is it for today's podcast. And I do hope that your English studying is going well. And if it isn't, maybe you can just switch something over into English, like I did. And maybe that'll give you a bit more motivation to get some more steady practice in, like it did for me. Anyway, I wish you all the best. Until next time, bye-bye.